I've exclusively pumped for all 3 of my babies, and so I was so excited when Momcozy contacted me to gift me the M9 wireless breast pump. I'm really excited to share my experience with you because I've used the plug-in-the-wall pumps, the manual pumps, and because I've exclusively pumped for so long, I definitely have my insights, and it has been a total game changer for me. But know that this video is not sponsored, as in they did not pay me to create this video, so all opinions are my own. Also, if you're new to my channel, hey, I'm Yessie. I help moms to simplify their lives and live happier, healthier, more abundant lives. So if abundance and motherhood sounds like something you're interested in, you might consider subscribing. All right, so the things that I want to share with you are the ease of use. I'm going to show you how to set it up, what it comes with, the special considerations that I have noticed, and things that I would love to see improved by Momcozy. We'll talk about suction power, charging time, and durability, and then just some overall thoughts. Okay, so first of all, let me show you what it comes with, and then I'll show you how to set it up. So I have the bag right here. The case is absolutely beautiful. It's a fake PU kind of material, and it has this little soft grip handle here, and also a really good quality zipper. Call me crazy, but I also think that having good packaging, like good quality packaging, good quality materials, just kind of tells you something about the way that something is made. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the packaging can be more fancy than the product itself. But for me, in my case, like it just kind of gave that initial like wow first impression, because everything about it is just so beautiful and so thoughtfully made. So the pump itself is actually like really smooth. It's just sleek. It's easy to handle. It has this little cap that you can keep it closed and just kind of keep things clean while you have it in your case. It has this little charging port, which for me is just so awesome because I have lamps in my nightstand that has the ability to charge things. So I can just charge it while I'm right there. For me, I pump in about 6 to 7 minutes and do it about 4 to 5 times a day, just depending on my activity and baby's hunger, honestly. And I usually charge it about every other day. So inside the pump, you have all like the spare pieces. You will have your charging cables, you'll have your little caps so that if you do want to actually keep the milk inside your little bottles, you can put that in the fridge or just wherever and just cap your little bottle. So in the backside here, I have actually included a wet dry bag, but it doesn't come with that. I just put that in there so that I have it to separate it once I've used it on the go. I can just kind of put the wet stuff in here. So in the top here, you have 2 extra little containers, and I think they're so adorable. You can't really see the measuring lines right now, but it does have the little measuring lines, and it fits about 5 ounces. It has 2 of them. It has 2 extra little filters. I love that they included extra ones. A lot of pumps don't actually include extra filters. And then it also has a little paper to help you measure. And this is super, super, super important. Something that I wish that I had known when I was a first-time mom having issues with supply and being able to breastfeed is I did not know that the size of your flange was so important. And I made this mistake so badly that for a long time, I think it was like weeks that I had not even noticed. I was using one flange size larger than the other side, and no wonder one side was producing okay and the other was just so excruciating, and it hurt and it kept getting clogged and I kept having issues. I did not check the flange size. So lesson learned, your flange size is so, so, so important for your milk supply. Down here at the bottom, it has this really nice stretchy strap so that it keeps everything in place so it doesn't fall out. And this is where the pumps usually go. So I'm gonna show you, I don't have it in here because generally, unless I'm going out, I usually just put this under my drawer and then pull out these charging cords whenever it's time to use them. But let me show you how to assemble it and how I actually keep it. So generally I keep mine in just a little plastic container that I have here in the home. I usually keep it right beside my sink, or at nighttime I'll just keep it right beside my bedside table. Personally, I would definitely recommend, if you're going to be an exclusively pumping mom or you're just going to be using it often, to keep it in something where it's able to stay separated and to stay dry. Because most people will probably use it for like work or for travel. What I would say is just take something that you can rinse with, so like a jug of water, a bottle of water, and then like a dry paper towel roll so that you can actually take it apart and dry in between. The only things that I would recommend taking with you is just either a wet bag to put your stuff in until you can actually go and clean it so that you're not putting it right back in your case. Because, I mean, the last thing that you want, I think, is to have, my bad, sorry, I'm like exiting the camera here. The last thing that you want is to have your pretty place where everything is clean and then you're putting all your dirty things in here. That can just cause a whole lot of bacteria to just live in here. Then I have a little wet bag. You can just purchase these online. I can link the one that I have, but it has 2 different zippers, so you can keep your dirty stuff and then an area where you can keep the clean stuff. So that way you can actually like keep it somewhere until you have time to go home and wash it. Or alternatively, like I've done when I've been traveling, is I'll just take water with me, like a little bottle, and then just paper towels so that I can dry it and make sure that it's not getting icky, put it back in here, and then wash it when I get home. So all that, and tips aside, to assemble it, it comes with this little flange. And in here, you'll have the little rubber flange sizes. And this is actually so comfortable. I love that they included this because it's just like a really smooth rubber that honestly, I was actually expecting that the first time I use it, it would actually like hurt or that it wasn't going to be comfortable. And y'all, I was very surprised. This is going to be TMI, but it started on the letdown mode. I told my husband, I'm like, don't be jealous, but this isn't bad, okay? This does not feel bad. So this is the little container that it comes with. I think it's so freaking adorable. I'm going to try to film it, but it has a little picture of an unlock, lock, and a locked lock. And you basically line it up with the little arrow that it has. So it's very user-friendly. All you do is you turn it to the lock side. And then once you do that, you just clip them together. So like that. So now it's clipped together. And once you have this piece, all you do with that is you just slide it in and you're gonna hear a click. Ta-da! Like that's as long as it took to assemble the thing. So I'm gonna do the other side. Again, it has the little lock side where I'm going to just slide it to the other side. Done. And then I will get the little flange, click it together. It has to click. And then just, ta-da, slide it in. So it will have these little symbols to show you what the different settings are. I usually start just on the regular mode. These different little symbols here, you're gonna have a little heart for trying to get let down, and then it has like a little drop. And then you can also do both, see? So you have the option of choosing both. This is just gonna keep track of your time, and then a plus and a minus. And then you can also see if this is your left side or your right side right here at the top. So it's so user-friendly. And I love that it actually, you can see the count from the top. All right, and I'm gonna zip it for a little bit so that you can actually hear how loud, quiet it is. Actually, I should put it right to my microphone, sorry. So it is definitely noticeable. I wouldn't say it's like really, really loud, but it's definitely noticeable. Like I've had it under my shirt and my son is like, Mommy, what do you have in there? I'm like, you know what's going on in there. One of the things that I absolutely have loved about this pump is that I can literally just like check to see if I'm finished or not. The only thing is, I mean, people can definitely notice, and it feels like I went to a plastic surgeon and got like a really too large boob job. So it's definitely noticeable. If you're going to be insecure or shy about that, I would say probably just wear one of those like looser shirts that aren't tucked at the bottom. Like I wouldn't wear something like this. You probably just wear a loose shirt over it, but otherwise it's like so modest. You can't even see anything. You don't have to reveal anything. I love, love, love that about it. And so special considerations that I want to share with you, I can definitely wake up really engorged in the morning, so I will easily produce 12 to 14 ounces. So that being said, this holds 5. So I usually have to take it apart, pour it into a bottle, and then put it back on, which honestly, like, I mean, you saw how quick it is to assemble or disassemble. You just, again, it's kind of like the same process of clicking it in. You just basically do it the opposite. So instead of clicking it in and take it apart that way, and then you pour it out. So that's the only thing, is that you do have to take it apart and put it back on in order to continue to suction. But I mean, how quick was that? It really doesn't take that long, but just beware so that you can keep an eye on it and not just kind of forget about it. And then you're feeling like, oh shoot, I'm leaking. On the note of leaking, I have not had that issue though. So as long as I'm checking in the morning, usually it's just the morning time. After that, I do not fill it back up, but I have not had issues with leaking. I have seen some other people mention that they have to kind of be careful. I haven't had the issue, but I think that's just because, I mean, you can't be like leaning over or like lying down. It would be nice. It would be so nice if I could just like sleep. And they can make a pump where you can just be asleep and do the job for you. But until then, I just have to stay upright. It's not an issue. Other things. Suction power. I was so surprised. So again, I was surprised that it didn't hurt, and I was surprised that, like, as far as the suction, it really did a really good job, because manual pumps especially, I felt like I never really could empty fully. But the wall pumps, compared to this, I was worried that it wasn't going to suction enough because it didn't have as much power. And it really does. Obviously, everybody's going to be different, but for me, it definitely empties me, and I've not noticed my milk supply change. I don't have issues with undersupply, but my experience has just been checking your flange size, maintaining well hydrated. That's like so key. And because I've exclusively pumped for so long, I have also started with like just doing cluster, kind of like babies cluster feed. If I wanted to increase my supply, I would pump frequently and then take a break and then pump frequently every few minutes for an hour. But thankfully, I have not had an issue, and I'm not a lactation consultant, so don't take my advice for this. It's just tips that have worked for me. But if you guys have an experience about, like, anybody here that has had pumping experience, please share your experience as far as increasing milk supply, because I know that can be such a huge issue for a lot of moms. And another point that I hope Momcozy is actually not watching, because it's going to make my warranty void, but whatever. We're going to make this review honest, okay? One thing that I wish Momcozy would try to improve upon in the future is maybe having like a kind of a grip on the sides, like a silicone grip or something, because I've actually dropped this twice. But it was kind of like one of those drops where you try to catch it, and then when you try to catch it, it just flings more. But it survived, okay? I've dropped it twice, and it did fine. I was honestly like, oh my gosh, I broke it. You done did it, Yessie. But no, I mean, it's worked just fine. So I guess that goes to show that it's pretty durable. It's built very well, which I'm happy. I'm happy about that. But I do wish that there was some kind of like a silicone grip or something so that would prevent it, because it's round, circular. So just beware. Be careful when you're holding it. But otherwise, know that it's pretty durable. Editing Yessie here. So I had the opportunity to become an affiliate with Momcozy, which I was honestly very excited about because I genuinely love the product. But I ultimately decided not to, and I wanted to share with you some of the possible marketing practices in case you're the kind of person that not only values the way that a product works, but also the way that the organization operates. So in the process of creating this video, I was navigating their website in search of some B-roll when I get a pop-up that looks like a YouTube video or a TikTok video of someone like me, like you, talking about their pump. And immediately I get this icky gut feeling, because normally if a company uses somebody else's content, they would write a contract so that the content creator gets paid for the duration of the time that that video is used. So I hopped onto Reddit to see what others were saying, and I learned that this is a Chinese company marketing itself as USA based. My impression is that they're probably not all too transparent, because I wanted to know if this was a brand that I could work with for years to come. And for me, that meant that I wanted to be able to share negatives as well. And in short, when I asked this, my answer was something along the lines of, "We appreciate your honesty, but no, I haven't had experience with customer service, but others say that it's not so great. And as for my worry, some have stated that they do steal content creators' work. I also read that they have their employees spam comments and make fake positive reviews. And whether or not this is all true, I do not know. But I wanted to be honest with every detail I've noticed so that you can make the best decision for yourself. Because as my abuelita used to say, el que nada debe, nada teme. If you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear. And if this brand doesn't want negative things mentioned, to me, that says something. I've loved this pump. It's actually been such a beauty to me. I can pump in about 6 minutes and be done so quickly. I can actually feed my kids at the same time, prep meals, or do something else at the same time. And this has just been so awesome. Especially being a homeschool mom, I used to have to come over here, and I have actually shown you my pumping station in a previous video where I showed you like my bedroom tour. But not having to be hooked up to that station 4 times a day is just like, it's so amazing. Call me crazy, but I love using something that's just beautiful, especially with something that I'm going to be using so often, day after day after day. Like, I used to feel like breastfeeding was, don't judge me for this, but I found it to be an annoyance. I wanted to wear pretty things and I wanted to feed my baby and do what was best for her and do what was best for me. But I also wanted to be detached. I wanted to be free. I wanted to be able to like hand the bottle to my husband or to do something else at the same time. And having this case to be able to travel and to do things, to be on the go, to be on the road is so amazing. Like, this has just been such a blessing to me. I'm just so thankful for this opportunity. But y'all, please know, I'm not judging anybody that's deciding to breastfeed, formula feed, whatever. This is just my personal experience and honestly, my genuine thoughts. I have found pumping to be a beautiful in-between where I can feed my baby and keep her well nurtured and also me lose a lot of calories and just get the baby weight off quicker. But I can also be free and not have to be like totally attached to my baby, and call me selfish for that, but I've loved exclusively pumping. But having to be connected to the wall, sometimes I would have to like take the car attachment and have all these sorts of things. And it was just kind of an annoyance. And having this, like literally just having it in a little case and taking it with me, just taking a little water bottle to rinse with, a little paper towel, and this, like, how amazing. I'm just so thankful for this opportunity. So thank you for sticking around for this review. I hope it's been helpful. I have to stop it now because my baby has awakened from her slumber, if you can tell the coos and the ahs in the background. But if you have any ideas of any videos you'd like to see from me, please let me know. Also, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you won't miss when I post a new video. All right, she says I gotta go. She's trying to tell me, hello, mommy, where are you? So until next time, bye.